Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to a Wednesday edition of the Ysn Power Hour, brought to you by our friends up at Toyota of Warren. DJ Yoakley with you, and the living legend, Scotty Mencher, will join us momentarily. We got a lot, and I mean a lot to discuss. It's been a wild ride since the last time we met last week. A lot of good things, obviously, with our attention turning to the YSN All-Star Game, along with some tough breaks. You know, we talk about it all the time. Sports is the greatest thing in the world, the absolute greatest thing in this world. To yours truly, I love it. It's who I've become. It's made me who I am. It's made a lot of us who we are today, being competitive, being able to love, being able to cherish, being able to work for something. There's a lot of roots in sports. We're going to talk about some of those tough critics today as well. We're going to talk free agency with Scotty Mencher, and then he's got a great topic he wants to talk about. If you could go back, or if you're an athlete right now, who is the one player, boys, girls, indifferent, in this region, in high school, in whatever sport you may play and participate in, who's the one player that you would like to go be a free agent and join them and play for them in today's day and age? We want to know that. I will answer that, as well as Scotty, I'm sure. All of that on today's YSN Power Hour, again brought to you by Toyota of Warren. We can't wait any longer. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we bring in the most electrifying man on four wheels, the man who has become the light of Jimmy Sutton, the man who has become the most incredible story here at your sports network. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, and the legend, Scotty Mencher. Hey, Scotty, what's going on, baby?
What's up? Hell of an intro, man. Thank you.
I try to dish it out for you, dude. I try to dish it out for you. You've become the legend here. Everybody knows it. There's some great things on the horizon. I know we talked about before you came on that will, I'm sure, hopefully, you'll be able to kind of indulge a little bit more at the Joe Dickey Lecture, What's Your Spark? But how's Scotty doing on this beautiful 70-degree in Ohio Wednesday?
Yeah, I am. I'm great. And what weather we've had, man! It's got me really excited. 1 week closer to that All-Star game, and I got to be honest, DJ. I'm starting to get those butterflies in my stomach. The good nerves are taking over, and I just keep going back and forth on how I'm gonna attack this thing, as far as the way I'm gonna approach being a judge. So
Hang on. Let him out. Wrong button. Sorry, Scotty. The biggest thing for me is, yes, the cat's out of the bag. You are going to be a judge for the YSN All-Star Slam Dunk competition this year. But we also have four others that are going to be joining you that we are going to release all next week. Hopefully, we're going to be able to get them on this very show and interview them and let them tell about their story, why I think they are. I mean, we bring in these judges for a reason, not because they're celebrities, but because they are these great humanitarians, great people, great at their job, great at the work, and they are really big personalities in this valley and why we are who we are. So I can't wait to bring them in. Scotty, nobody better than you. Love your story. I've loved your story since the day I met you. You've become literally a local celebrity here, regional celebrity. Everybody wants to know what Scotty's up to. And I can't wait for you to give them kind of the same update that you gave me later on in the show. But today, my friend, you wanted to talk about free agency. You wanted to talk about this chaos, this frenzy that is going around in the National Football League, and you've got a local spin to it, which I'm excited to talk about as well. So far, Scotty, we're 2 days into free agency in the National Football League. What has piqued your interest?
Um, well, obviously one of the first dominoes to fall, the first Browns acquiring Jerry Judy from Denver, and he's a guy he has not realized his full potential to this point, but he's only 24. He's got a lot of talent, a lot of upside. Also, the Browns they didn't give up much in getting him, so I kind of see it as a no lose. But of course, Russ signing with your Pittsburgh Steelers in a move I don't want to say I necessarily saw Russ coming. I thought the Steelers would do something. I was thinking, maybe it would be a Justin Fields or somebody like that. But they decide to go with Russell Wilson. So that one I just been anxiously waiting to get your thoughts on that. And then also Derrick Henry. A lot of people think that the Ravens are going to be unstoppable with Derrick Henry now in that backfield to go with Lamar Jackson. But I'm not quite sold. But that those are just what's going on in the AFC North. But yeah, I figured the Browns as much as I wanted Flacco back. I figured it was not gonna happen, and they're rolling with Jameis Winston, who, as a backup, I think he's pretty good backup to have. They could have done worse.
So you're saying as long as he doesn't get in, you like him?
Uh, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying.
I saw that and I could not wait to talk to you about this because I mean, listen, I think you and I both know Jameis Winston is going to get time. He's going to get time. Deshaun Watson, I don't. Can you remember the last clean season he's made it through? Because I can't. And coming off that injury, he's not getting any younger. You know, I love your optimism, Scotty. I always do. Talking about Jerry Judy, as long as you don't ask Steve Smith Jr.'s or Steve Smith Sr., I guess, his opinion on Jerry Judy, I think we're all going to be okay. I think we're all going to be okay because he doesn't seem to think Jerry Judy's worth much of anything. He did that last season. I don't think that it's a bad fit for Cleveland. I don't think that Jerry Judy necessarily is going to be a number one, but I don't think he has to be. I think with Cooper and Judy, I think that you've got some weapons, and this is a day and age in the National Football League that weapons are the big story, right? You got to have weapons. It's crazy to me to think that Jerry Judy, and I'm a Steelers fan, right? We all know that Jerry Judy's not much better than Deontay Johnson, statistically speaking. They're in the same ballpark from that standpoint. And the Steelers just see you later. We don't need you. We're done with this. A guy that I've always had kind of a problem with, Deontay Johnson, especially post Ben Roethlisberger era, a guy that catches the ball and runs backwards. Um, he is now on the island of misfit toys over in Carolina. And if he thought he was miserable with a winning team in Pittsburgh, he is going to be absolutely distraught this year. And we're going to see a complete meltdown. I'm guessing maybe not as far as Antonio Brown, Scotty, but along those lines, we're going to see a meltdown in one of. He has some of the biggest upside in the entire league, but the dude can't get out of his own way. So I'm excited to see that. But as far as Russell Wilson goes, I've kept this quiet. I've kept this low key. I've kept it hush. A guy that throws 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. That's more touchdowns than any Steeler quarterback has thrown since Ben Roethlisberger combined. in 2 years. In 2 years, the Steelers haven't thrown 26 touchdowns. Russell Wilson throws it last year. He throws 8 interceptions last year. Well, he fumbles the football. Well, yeah, because he had to run for his life because he had one of the worst offensive lines in the entire league. I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to be that guy that says Super Bowl, Scotty. I'm not that crazy. But what I will tell you is there's a lot of people in the AFC North shaking at the knees, knowing that Russ is going to be cooking down at Acrisure Stadium with the Yinzers. And now we've got a quarterback that can throw the deep ball. We've got a receiver that is, I think, still one of the best in the league and is untapped. And his ceiling is way up in George Pickens. I'm not going to say, we are going to get more receivers. It could be Calvin Ridley. It could be Tyler Boyd. It could be a stud in the draft. We're going to get better linemen. We've got a punter. And Patrick Queen at 24 years old. Patrick Queen, we've been chasing a guy like Patrick Queen since Ryan Shazier. Ladies and gentlemen, the Pittsburgh Steelers are back. Pittsburgh Steelers are back. They were bad at 9-8 and 10-7. They were bad. They were bad. And now they just got at least 2 to 3 games better. Immediately.
Well, I do think that when you look at what they had at QB, Russ he's definitely an upgrade. It wasn't hard to upgrade over Pickett or Mason Rudolph. Not that they were always terrible, but they
Leave
were.
Mason Rudolph alone. It was Mitch Trubisky that was the problem.
Mitch Trubisky is. I'm glad he isn't the backup because there were some rumors rolling around that the Browns could get him as the
That would have been
backup
sweet.
QB earlier. So I'm really glad that didn't happen.
Okay,
And
you've got what? Or let's stop you right there. You've got one drive to win a football game. Mitch Trubisky or Jameis Winston?
oh, I'm going Jameis.
Of
There's
course
a
you are.
good chance. There's a good chance he throws an interception and ends it, but there's also a really good chance he has a cannon arm. He can throw that bomb, end it in one play with a 70-yard strike. So I'm going Jameis.
You are such a loyalist. It's not even funny. Not even funny.
That's what YSN's all about,
I
right?
know. I know, Scotty. You're so good at being, a pillar of what we do and being a loyal guy. Yeah, I mean, did what the Browns do this past week, did it excite you? Like, and not just because you're craving football, not because of the free agency period, the frenzy that is right now. Did it get you excited for Cleveland football? Because these aren't the sexy picks that we're accustomed to getting Cleveland all fired up about. These are like necessary guys that you need to sign. You look at the middle linebacker, right? Yesterday from Minnesota?
Minnesota, yeah. Um, and his name is escaping me right
Me
now.
too.
I
So I
know
mean, but that's what I'm talking about. Like
yeah.
these aren't sexy names that you're sitting there, but it feels like the Cleveland Browns, believe it or not, I'm going to give you credit. Feels like the Cleveland Browns are now turning into a football operations instead of just selling tickets. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it seems like I saw someone put it this way last year, and I totally agree. It seems like now the Browns they're finally, because they've shown they could be a they're obviously not elite or great. They still have steps to go, but they've shown they could be a good team. And somebody said last at the end of last year, they're starting to have good team problems. They don't have $100 million in cap space, or over 100 million like they did when they trade for guys like Odell and sign a Jarvis Landry. Like they're not going out spending a ton of money in free agency or making splashy moves, but it's important to retain key pieces. And I think the Browns have finally got to that point where, like, yeah, it's kind of a bummer because they're not able to go out and break the bank for somebody like Christian Wilkins, like the Raiders did, who's a stud D tackle. But it also shows that the Browns are at a level where the Raiders are trying to get at, and that's a playoff team.
You don't
And
need him. You got the defensive player of the year, right? I mean, he puts enough stats up to get defensive player of the year. What do you need? What do you need star defensive tackles for, Scotty?
Well, I'm not gonna. We could probably go the rest of the show in the with the Watt and Miles Garrett debate. You know where I sit on that. I've always thought that Miles that they've been kind of like 1 and 1A, and it's really close. I understand Steelers fans and
I didn't complain.
their gripe, their beef about Juan not getting the defensive player of the year. But it's not always just numbers. Numbers tell a lot of the story. They don't tell the whole story. And Miles Garrett got double teamed by far more than anyone else in the NFL last year. So I will say that.
Okay.
Uh,
All right. Yeah. And he also didn't put up as many stats. I mean, I guess that's like a quarterback winning the MVP because they had the most drops. You know, their receivers had the most drops. You know, I don't know. It's just on paper versus in my imagination. You know, I guess Kenny Pickett could be MVP because his receivers, he didn't throw in the middle. He left complete zone out of the field, but his receivers dropped it. So I mean, let's put him in the MVP conversation. That's just where I'm at. That's just where I'm at, Scotty. Joshua Dobbs should be in the MVP conversation if that's how we're going to do it. The Fugazi reporting and not the statistics. What's actually on there and made up PFF stats, whatever. Whatever. Happy for you, Miles. Happy for you, brother. Go get paid. Go get paid. Um, and I'm getting, oh, by the way, Dave Balestrino, by the way, it's on the way. It's coming straight over from the Republic over here, the old number 3 jersey, and there's more than one of them, buddy. There's more than one of them. So you may laugh, you may snicker, you may even giggle, but I will tell you that Russell Wilson will be represented well on Sundays this fall in East Palestine. No doubt. No doubt. I just love what he's doing on Twitter already. I love that he's embracing this team. And I love that the Broncos are paying for him to potentially win an AFC North championship. Nothing better, Scotty.
uh, I do think he he makes the Steelers better. I don't. I'm
Here we
not
go.
I'm not necessarily convinced that he's still he's definitely his play has declined uh, in comparison to his days in Seattle. So I do think he makes the Steelers better, but I think there's a lot of just like with the Browns. I think it's like okay, we're gonna wait and see. Like the potential is there, but just like with Watson, you know, winning and there's winning or struggling in the AFC West, and then there's the AFC North, which is a totally different animal.
All right.
Uh,
Stop it.
so
Stop it. You're talking to the Steelers about the AFC North and how difficult it is to win. Stop it. Stop it. Russell Wilson has, what does he have? A Super Bowl, right? Been to two,
Yeah.
won one because, Tom Brady. That you think about all, and you brought up the Seattle, right? And listen, I agree. He's declined in some capacity. He's not as mobile as he was obviously 10 years ago when he was 26 years old, 25 years old, going on 26. But I will tell you this. What's the one thing that Russell Wilson had on those championship teams? What's the one thing that he had, Scotty?
I mean, he's always had a pretty high IQ.
He's got a great defense and he had some good running backs and he did the play action better than anybody not named Peyton Manning, right? I'm just saying, we talked about for years Nick Chubb and how Nick Chubb made the Browns better because any quarterback that could do play action immediately was able to take advantage. The Steelers and Artie Smith with Naj and with the guy I don't even know his name, 30, Jalen Warren.
Jalen Warren.
A play action with Russell Wilson who can throw it downfield and now you can let your receivers go downfield. Don't let us have Tyler Boyd. Don't let us have a guy that wants to play over the middle. I'm just saying, Scotty, a great defense, which the Steelers, I'm gonna project it. The Steelers went from a good defense to a really good defense, potentially a great defense with Patrick Queen in the middle. Because not only did you take one of the best inside linebackers in the game, but you also left a gaping hole in the cock of the walk, which is the Baltimore Ravens. So the Ravens are going to have to score 60 points a game to win because they're going to have some major problems defensively. And it's going to show this year. And who's going to be there to pick up the pieces? TJ Watt, who's already hacked off. He's already hacked off because he was the defensive player of the year, unquestionably. And now he doesn't care about depoys. He cares about Lombardis. He cares about winning the greatest world championship that sports knows to this day. And then a hacked off Russell Wilson. Oh, Scotty. A Najee Harris that's playing for a contract. George Pickens that everybody says is a failure. We're the underdogs. The Steelers are the underdogs.
There's a lot to be excited about, but I think for Browns fans, equally so. I do. I get the feeling you're making it sound like you think the Steelers are gonna dethrone the Ravens for the division,
I'm
but
taking them. But I will also say that the Steelers will have unbelievable odds. Unbelievable odds to win the division. Unbelievable odds. It'll be the Ravens, the Browns, the Steelers, maybe even the Bengals. The Steelers might be the fourth best team in that division right now on a DraftKings or a FanDuel. But I can tell you right now, barring injury or injuries, which will happen, the Steelers are the underdogs, and they will accept that rule happily. Happily. Whereas now, the shoe's on the other foot, Cinderella. The expectation for Cleveland is win now because that window is closing. That window is shrinking. Every day we get closer and closer and closer to the next Super Bowl. That window is shrinking because I know my guy, the new QB in town, Russell Wilson, is on a 1-year deal. He could be one and done. He's got another year that he can go on a $1.2 million contract with the Steelers. I know that. This whole thing could blow up in our face. But at the end of the day, we've got Kenny Pickett waiting in the wings. So it could be worse. It could be a lot worse. But the potential, what if Kenny learns something from Russ? What if Kenny learns a little something? That's the scary part, Scotty. Is we can get Kenny on the cheap for his second contract. He learned something from Russell Wilson, who's willing to teach him the Jedi ways. And then all of a sudden, you got all kinds of trouble. All kinds of trouble in Believeland.
Possibly.
Because then
Uh,
Deshaun Watson goes away. He got 2 more years on his contract, and then all of a sudden, what do you have now? You're back where you started. You're looking
I
for Tim
mean,
Couch.
we did beat you with DTR. I'm just
Bring
saying.
him, bring him back. Bring him back. Let's run it back.
Yeah, I think there's some potential there. I'm not totally. I know you weren't impressed with them, but I'm not giving up on the prospects of a guy like DTR yet. I think he could be something down the
Let's
line.
let's run it back. That's all I'm saying. When when it comes down to it, I got a guy on my team right now that has won a Super Bowl, that has led a team to a Super Bowl, that understands that there's a stage to that. You've got a guy that has what, 3 wins in the playoffs in his career?
Yeah, he only a couple. He is quite a bit younger than Russ, though.
Sure.
Um, but he's got to. I'm still dying over here,
You all
but
right?
He's got to prove he could stay healthy for
Proud
sure.
Yinzer, David. Proud Yinzer. You forgot the proud. You are such a proud Yinzer. Stand up for us, Scotty.
Yeah, it's I do think um and the same goes for Joe Burrow. That's why like Cincinnati is
They're in
rosy
shambles.
as rosy as things looked a couple years ago. It does not look nearly as rosy right now. I
T. Higgins wants out, man.
so I'm sitting looking at this. I do think the Ravens should still be the favorite right now, but I kind of see the Bengals as that odd team out again. I think you look in next year, and there's a very good chance the Browns, Ravens, and Steelers are all in the postseason again. But I'm just not Cincinnati. I think they got a lot of problems, but maybe I'll be wrong. We'll
Joe
see.
Burr. Joe Burr is the dude. He's legit. It makes me want to know though how long he's going to put up with this crap. You know, they just got an indoor facility. They have receivers that want out. They have people that want out. They're cutting Joe Mixon. So it's going to be interesting, Scotty. But I will tell you this: there is a team. There is a team, not named the Chiefs, that I am terrified for and of, and they are the Houston Texans.
Oh,
Man, are they getting better by the day.
yeah, and they have the advantage too because that division, as a whole, we saw the Jaguars totally implode the second half of last season, so they don't have to. It's not as much of a grind as football in the AFC North either. So yeah, the Texans' potential is through the roof.
Texans to me are in the AFC Championship game. If I'm putting hard money on this, and this segment can be sponsored by the way. If I'm putting hard money on this, I'm saying Texans Chiefs AFC Championship.
Man, I hate to agree with you, but I could see that. It was disheartening. I knew it was that matchup with the Texans was gonna be tough. I wasn't saying it was gonna be, and it was in the bag, Browns victory, but I did not expect the Texans to just blow them away like that.
Gonna be
Um,
crazy.
so
Gonna be crazy. And then you add the Jets in there if they can get Vice President Aaron Rodgers into the mix and get him healthy. Um, It's going to be a crazy year. We're going to take a break. We come back. Scotty, what's the question you wanted to pose?
So the question I wanted to pose to you and everybody else out there, if you could go back and play with an athlete, past, current, or present, if you're an athlete right now, or you could go back and play with one, who would it be?
Locally or regionally?
Locally,
Okay.
yes. Locally.
All right. We'll find out the answer to those questions and more. We return on the YSN Power Hour, brought to you by Toyota of Warren.
We believe expectations are made to be exceeded. At the new Toyota of Warren, it's about more than just getting a great deal. It's about service you can count on and a friendship you can trust. Year after year, we've done what we do best. We've gone the extra mile so you could too. Because we know it's just not about buying a new car. It's the start of a new adventure. Toyota of Warren, driven by you.
Sheely's is more than a furniture store. We're a hub for all of your appliance needs. We offer the widest selection at everyday low prices, with over $1 million of in-stock inventory from Whirlpool, KitchenAid, LG, GE, and more. Our knowledgeable, no-pressure sales staff can help you find the perfect appliances for your home. We're there for you beyond your purchase to service what we sell and offer free local delivery with 24-month special financing. Sheely's, the best things in life happen at home.
House troubles can attack anytime. When trouble strikes, call Mighty Mike. Your hometown hero is on his way. HVAC causing havoc? Has your furnace gone mad? Mighty Mike Heating and Cooling will save the day. Commercial or residential, 24/7. For quality service you can depend on. Call your hometown hero. Call Mighty Mike.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa.
And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing.
Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships.
We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team.
Your goals, our game plan.
Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Why choose local? Because you live here, work here, learn here, relax here, and celebrate here. 21 WFMJ is our Valley's only locally owned TV station, and our focus is local. Other TV stations don't have that same focus, as their owners are somewhere else. But 21 WFMJ is rooted in the Valley. Local people making decisions that affect your life, right here where you live.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the YSN Power Hour, brought to you by our friends at Toyota of Warren. So many other great sponsors and supporters here on YSN. If you would like to join those great lists of supporters, sponsors, advertisers here on your sports network, all you got to do, real simple, go to ysnlive.com. And I believe you can click on sponsor, but if you can't, here's the easier way to do it. ysnlive.com/advertise. Easy to remember. ysnlive.com/advertise. Folks, we are over 3 million views, and we're not even 3 months in to 2024. We are looking to just absolutely blow the top off this bad boy here in 2024, and we can't do it without folks like you, great sponsors, supporters, advertisers that allow us to absolutely get some more games, more sports, and more opportunities, more interviews of our local regional kids here in this area. So if you'd like to get involved and get your name dotted on some of these advertisements, some of these sponsorships, these interviews, and quite honestly, right up in the right-hand corner, go to ysnlive.com/advertise. We got big things in store in 2024. Scotty, one more time, what's the question you're asking the world?
Okay, so my question for today, and I thought about this a lot leading up to the show today, and I was wondering if you like it, DJ, and you said you really like this one, so I'm chomping at the bit to hear your answer. But for the rest of you out there listening, I want to know if you could go back, or if you're a current athlete and you're a different school, whatever, but if you could play with one other athlete, past, present, current, if you could play with them, and it could be boys basketball, girls, etc. But what athlete would you want to play with?
And this is a tough one. I had to rack my brain a little bit. And the way that the only way that I can do it, Scotty, is to break it down by sport. And I do have, believe it or not, there's girls that I would love to play beside in their respective sports, because just the way that they operate, because of the people that they are, because of the workers that they are on the court, the personalities, the leaders that they are on and off the court, floor, and field. So let's start there. Pick a sport, Scotty, and I'll tell you who I'm thinking.
So let's start with basketball.
Basketball. So I'm going to start with the ladies of basketball, and I've got two in mind. First one, perhaps one of the best interior players to play on YSN ever that we've had the opportunity to cover. A young lady that went on to play at the next level and is wrapping up her career, maybe perhaps even wrapped up her career. I don't know that for sure yet. Jenna Ricardo of Beaver Local. Her leadership was off the charts. She was coachable. She was a great teammate. She was a great inside interior shooter. She still scored 1,000 points, well over 1,000 points if I'm thinking correctly. And she was able to lead by getting her teammates involved, understanding that other teams would do anything they could to stop 24. And yet she didn't care about the glitz, the glamour, the bright lights. She cared about her team winning and enjoying the memories and creating memories that last a lifetime that we were able to document. So Jenna Ricardo, and then the other one's a slam dunk for me is Mackenzie Riccatelli. That young lady, who is not much more than 5'4", 5'5", she's been able to put the weight of the world seemingly on her shoulders. She doesn't care about accolades. She is almost embarrassed whenever she's breaking down records during the season or seasons. She shines in the brightest moments. She cares about her teammates more than anybody that I've ever met. She cares about her school, her community. She ran cross country, Scotty, just to get better at basketball, to build endurance so she could play all 32 minutes if her coach, Jeff Hamilton, called on her to do so. To me, Mackenzie Riccatelli might be one of the greatest competitors this area has ever known and will ever know. And if I could go back and I could play on her team, I would absolutely do it. Absolutely do it. Probably more than anybody on this list of players, Mackenzie Riccatelli. Boys basketball. This one's going to be tough because we've had some dogs. We've had some across from pillar to post, we've had dudes all over the place, from all over the place. But I've got to lean on one of the guys that right now, I'm going to go current and then past. The current player that I would like to play with is a guy named Trevor Sifke. A guy that takes a lot of heat, right? But has been able to overcome so much in the adversity department. So much. To lose a family member amidst your senior year in the playoffs and to still go out and punch out 27 points for your team and not hide behind excuses, but to do it in honor of your mom, who tragically passed away just, I believe, 24 hours before. I would love to play with for a guy like that, Trevor Sifke. That's my current guy. There's a lot, and he'll tell you, there's a lot better players out there. There's the Duncan Moyes of the world. There's, Fadden over in Mohawk, who's scoring thousands of points a year. But I would argue that nobody currently has more heart than a kid named Trevor Sifke of Lisbon. And I wasn't always a believer. I'm going to be honest with you. Love him as a kid. Sometimes he had to learn how to grow up, and he did. And he did in such a big way. And I'm incredibly proud of this young man. And that's the kind of guy that I would want to play with and for if we're playing basketball. Because when the game's on the line, he's going to put it in the peach basket. Or if he's going to get doubled or tripled, he's going to make sure that he finds the open guy and his team wins the game. That's the guy. Oh, and he's pretty damn good on defense too. As for the player of yesteryear that I would love to play with in basketball for the boys, this one's tough. Because he's not even he never saw himself as a basketball player. But I'm going to go with Christian Colosimo. I'm drawn to guys from a standpoint of leadership that exhibit great leadership, that will run through a wall, that will do whatever it takes, that will eat up the dirty minutes, that will skin their knees up on the hardwood in order to get a loose ball. Those are the kinds of guys that I would want to play with and for. And Christian Colosimo is the epitome of that. Because he's a football player playing basketball. I mean, his thighs were as big as my body, right? And he was able to manufacture tough points. He run point guard if he had to. The dude was a linebacker. I mean, he was the guy for Poland in football. He was a human cement truck and a guy that I would love to play with and for. So that's my basketball picks. Scooter, what's the next sport?
So next I'm gonna go with let's go football.
Oh. All right. Well, do I do a current and a former?
You can.
Current. I'm gonna go former first and think about current while I still have a second. This guy, I am, and most of these guys, what you'll find is I've kind of latched onto them, and gals for that matter, I've latched onto them. I've made sure that they get plenty of praise through what we do, but it's easy to do because you don't have to work for it. A lot of times they'll shy away from it. I would interview them every day if I could. This one though, I'm specifically and particularly humbled and honored because this young man, not only was he outstanding to watch play the position, but he was incredible to bring on to our team. And that is my good buddy, Chris Colucci. Colucci, as a football player, and he'll tell you that he's a wrestler first, but as a football player, that young man from the center position was able to start at a young age. He was able to learn at a young age and eventually helped lead his team to a state championship of which nobody, and I mean nobody, other than the people in that locker room and some of the outsiders, the parents, obviously, and I don't know, a media organization, believe that they could do in the South Range state football champion football Raiders. So Chris Colucci did a lot for that team that went not unnoticed, but untalked about. It was what he did on the field. It was the conversations off the field. It was being a leader and giving everybody a point to rally around. And what we're seeing now from Chris Colucci is he's taking it from the football field and the wrestling mat into the entrepreneurial side of things and the business side of things with YSN. That young man is a guy that I would have loved to play beside, whether I was a guard or, let's not get crazy, but if I was a quarterback or a skilled position or a kicker, that's the kind of guy that I would rally behind, because that's a guy that will run through a wall if you tell him that his teammates want him to do it. That's my guy. As for current, I can't go South Range because I already did South Range. So I'm going to say, man, I'm going to have to think about this one, Scotty, because there's a lot right now that are really, really good. Really, really good. Good kids out there that are doing unbelievable things. I'd like to say a skill player, but I'm going to take a rain check on this one. I'll come back to it before the show's over here in a few minutes.
Can I give you Can I give you a basketball, boys, and a football?
It's your show, big fella.
Okay, so basketball wise, and this is kind of this is past, but also recent. But he is now graduated. But I was always a big Kevin Moore fan. Just
From
the way,
Camel.
yeah, from Camel.
He's a stud.
Yeah, and just the way the stuff I saw featured on YSN about him, and just the way he conducted himself, and the way he attacked the game on the floor. He's just somebody I would love to play with. And then football wise, of the more recent, Drew DeShields
It's a
would have
good
been
one.
would have been one that for sure, I would want to go to war with that guy.
That's a good one. That's a really good one, Scotty. I'm really, yeah. Drew DeShields is a good kid, battling injuries, and hopefully he finds his way back. But yeah, I'm in agreement with that. I'm trying to think football right now. It's tough because I've already turned the page, and it's like anything else, I can't go back until it's here. But football wise, right now, currently, I don't know. I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna take a rain check. Let's go volleyball. And like, I don't know how you go anywhere else, but a young lady that is gonna go to the University of Pittsburgh, a program that has been significantly helped by this. I mean, she's extremely tall, which makes her really good at volleyball naturally. But the talent she has, the IQ that she has, the heart that she has on the court, and the potential of her future. The University of Pittsburgh, to my knowledge, and Anthony Hartwig will have to step in on this one, has never offered day one. And for Abby Emsch of Crestview, that is a young lady that I would enjoy playing beside or coaching or being a part of that program and learning from her, because her talent, her IQ, again, off the charts. And she's been very humble about the entire experience. She's flown out to California. She's done things that no other volleyball player has done, that, to my knowledge. I think she is set for an incredible senior year. Senior, by the way, coming into her senior year, in a program that is incredibly, incredibly, incredibly good. The Crestview volleyball program, incredibly good. I would love to be a part of her team if I could go back and play volleyball. Obviously, a little bit different, right? I'm probably not going to wear the spandex, but it's one of those things where she's the kind of person that I would want on my team from that standpoint. And then from yesteryear, for volleyball, I mean, we've had some incredible volleyball players on, and Anthony knows these way better than I do. There's a slew of them, so I'm gonna stay with the current. I'm gonna stay with Abby Emsh of Crestview as a player that I would love to be part of the free agency frenzy and be on Crestview's team, especially her senior year. But if I can go back and be from the beginning, my goodness, it'd be fun. Let's go baseball. Let's go baseball. For me, man, one of my favorite 1-2 punches, two of my favorite humans from the same team, from the same era, now again on the same team. Once again, my guy forever, Jake Gehring. To be on Jake Gehring's team and to be able to see what he's been able to produce for himself, for his teammates. Remember, this dude was one of the best hitters in the lineup, and he turned into a PO, a pitcher only, at the next level. I would argue that at this point, let him swing the bat and see what he can do at the next level. I'm not saying that he's going to be better or as good as some of the hitters, but hey, let him swing the stick a little bit and let's see how it goes. And then the other one's Trey Pancake of yesteryear. Two guys that they were the battery mates. They're friends, still friends, very good friends. Trey Pancake, I'll throw Francis in there too because they're two peas in a pod as well. Pancake from South Range, and then Francis from Florida Mooney. Three guys that I've got to say, watching them play baseball because they play it the right way. And there's another guy this year that we followed his entire career that if I could play, I wouldn't even try and take the position. This young man's better than I ever was at the position. He's smarter IQ-wise. His leadership has come along. He is humility personified. Evan Tice of East Liverpool. That's a young man that has the world at his fingertips, not only from what he does on the diamond, but what he can do when he gets off it. His leadership skills are through the roof. And I don't even think he understands it yet. What he's been able to learn through the game of baseball, through the hours and the work and the bullpens and all the things that you don't want to do. Evan Tice, to me, is a young man that projects as a leader, a CEO, a guy that is going to take some business somewhere to the next level and then into the stratosphere. His leadership skills, unparalleled. As far as softball goes, I mean, softball, how can you not want to be, like, pick your poison from Austin Town Fitch, right? I mean, you can go up and down that roster. Ayla Ray, right? Who would not want to be on a roster with that young lady, with the amount of skill? And now her sister is, we're being told by Ayla and by people at Fitch, is going to surpass her. And Ayla's a tier 1, D1 softball player. But all I keep hearing is wait till you see your sister. Okay, I'm in. Count me in. I'll play. If you're on anywhere on that Fitch roster, right, with the talent that they have, with Sid the Kid out there slinging it, right, I'd love to be on that. And then to have Coach Ward coaching me, I mean, like, that'd be a great experience. To win the only team state championship in 30 years, I think it was. I have to look at my game notes, but I think it's 30 years. That's special, man. It's very, 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 very special. Oh, I'm going to add one to it. I'm going to add one to my baseball. Joe Roth. Joe Roth, Logan Bell. Logan's still playing. He's playing at Bowling Green. Joe Roth hung it up. Now he's a coach. For me, Scotty, there's something to it, right? It's not just what you can put in the statistics, what you can put in the columns. It's not just the wins, it's who you are. And I think that's the evolution of YSN. It's why we do what we do. And I'm not trying to get on a platform or a pedestal here, but I will tell you, these kids, these young men and women that we're able to cover, 99% of them are going to go on and do other things in life other than play sports, which is absolutely fine. But I'd put money that the kids that we highlight are going to go on and succeed more than others, because that's the kind of people that are raising them. Those are the kind of people that are influencing them. And we're just grateful to be able to be part of the story and to tell their story at a very early age. Bree Kohler as well in softball. Absolute stud. She does things with a softball that I've never seen done before. From the pitching position, from the hitting position, outstanding. Let me ask you a question, Scotty. Who's a coach? Who's a coach that could recruit you right now to come in and play for them at a reduced rate? If they were paying everybody, right? If NIL belonged in high school sports, who would be the coach that could come and say, sit down at your dinner table and say, Scotty, we want you to be part of this team? And you'd say, yes, coach. I'm in.
That's a tough one. Oh man. I could go a lot of different ways, but I would probably have to go. I'm gonna have to go with Bob Spate.
Oh, Spader.
Colombiana. Yeah. I just love his enthusiasm. I interviewed him a couple times, even before I was with YSN. He was always just very courteous and gave me so many great answers to my questions and in good time. So I would have to go with Bob Spate.
Love it. Current, I would go tie. It's a tie. And you probably know where I'm going with this. David Rock, Andrew Hake. And the GOAT category, a guy that can, I mean, I don't even have to play for his team. If he comes over to my house and says, hey, I need you to cut my grass, I'm Dan Yeagley. Right now. Hand in the pile. I'll cut your grass, coach. I'll do it. Hand in. I'm ready. Team on me, team on 3. I'm ready to go. Cut that grass. Anything. But people know that. And I'm not running from it. Because they know that the relationships that we build, they mean something. And not just with Dan Yeagley, not just with Andy Hake, not just with David Rock, with so many other coaches. Got a great call this morning from an elite basketball coach. I'm just excited, man. It's a great day. It's a 72-degree day out there, Scotty. We're talking about sports. How can our lives be any better?
Oh, it doesn't get any better than this. Great stuff.
We're very fortunate to do what we do every day, and we thank you for allowing us to do that and for tuning in. I want to answer one question before we go. It is from Dave Balestrino, the number one fan of the YSN Power Hour, powered by Toyota of Warren. Dave Balestrino says, you coming to the pub tonight? Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder, tonight and tonight only, you can come be a part of history. Andy Hake, yours truly, DJ Yoakley, going to be out at the Post Office Pub in Mineral Ridge, interviewing the ladies of the Ridge, the champions of the Ridge. Tonight, come out, get some great food, have some great entertainment. We will be taping the interviews live to be running here on YSN. A lot of great things going on at Ridge right now, and we're excited to be able to give them the platform that we have here at YSN to talk about those great things. If you remember, we did it a few months ago, probably closer to a year ago, where we invaded the middle school, the 7th and 8th grade, and boys and girls won every single MVAC title there was to be won. And now the evolution of that. We've got champions over in Mineral Ridge. We're going to talk to them and give them some well-deserved shine that they've so desperately deserved. They desperately deserve that. We can arrange this for you as well. Head over to ysnlive.com and contact us today. All right, what do we got here? Anthony's chiming in. I love it. Well, I think we're talking. Maybe not. I don't think we're talking on the softball one. That's going to be a separate one. I think we're talking to fall and winter right now, and then hopefully in the weeks to come, in a month or so, we'll be back out the post office pub talking about to the softball Lady Rams. So get the guys in there too. What are we doing? I think I'm suiting up for Upshire. Oh my gosh, that's a great call. Josh Upshire in basketball would be fun. Andy Hake in football. Andy Hake just in general, when he gets you pumped up, like it's you're gonna take on the world. It would be 2 against Germany, and you'd think that you and Andy could take it over in World War II. Well, there we go. She was also in hoops. There you go, Ann. Way to put me on the spot and make me look like a complete doofus. Appreciate you. That is going to do it. Actually, no, Scotty. We gotta pay some bills here. Hang on. It is time for the Joe Dickey Electric. What's Your Spark? Presented by Joe Dickey Electric. Everything electric. Head to DickeyElectric.com. All right, Scooter. What's your spark?
Okay, my spark for today. I just got to give kudos and praise. Once again, I've done this many times before, so if I'm redundant, I apologize, but I just keep thinking of my support system, and I continue to work hard at physical therapy. I'm starting to stand again and put weight on my legs and taking steps with the gait belt. Eventually, I want to get back to the walker. That is the ultimate goal, but I'm getting there. And I wouldn't, if I didn't have so many people that cared about me and encouraged me and cheered me on, it would just be that much tougher. So thank you guys. I don't know where I would be without you.
That's a great spark, Scotty. Mine's a little bit of a downer. Today. Every family mostly goes through this. It's very, very challenging time when you lose somebody in your family, whether it be parent, loved one. But when you lose a pet, when you lose someone that's been around your family, in our case, our dog Toby crossed the Rainbow Bridge yesterday. Love my dog. It was really my wife's dog. My dog passed about a year ago. But to lose a dog, it's tough watching that. Anybody that's got a dog or a cat or a pet out there, iguanas. I know there's people out there with iguanas. Komodo dragons. Komodo. Whatever it is. Give a little love that pet. Because one day you're gonna wake up, they're not gonna be there anymore. You're not gonna be able to yell at it for eating food off the table. You're not gonna be able to be upset about taking them out for a walk. Love your pets. We miss you, Toby. Rest in peace. We love you. We'll always love you. That is going to do it for the show. Remember, folks, if you'd like to be part of this show, if you'd like to be interviewed on YSN, whether it be Anthony's Running Point or right here on the YSN Power Hour, send us a message. We'd love to interview you, make you part of the family. And if you'd like to advertise, head on over to ysnlive.com/advertise, and you can get started very soon. Again, we can't thank you enough for allowing guys like Scotty and myself the opportunity to talk about sports every day, to invite you into our world and to praise yours and to celebrate yours. Thank you so much. From Scotty Mincher, from myself, from Anthony Hartwick, from Brian Scott, this has been the Power Hour. powered by our friends at Toyota of Warren. We will see you on the other side. Post Office Pub tonight, 7:30. See you there. YSN thanks you for